Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Fools and Flagons, a D&D campaign made up entirely by me, where the players do dumb things and I try to make sense of it. So, a couple of quick announcements we're going to try to breeze through here super quickly. On top of streaming the D&D campaign, we have Pez Plays on Mondays. What do we have left to do on that? Are we still doing Halo 2? No, we finished Halo 2.
No, 4.
Yeah, we're on 4 unless we're able to get more people to play. Whiskey Wednesdays on Wednesdays. I just realized today that I totally forgot to upload the last Whiskey Wednesday, so I'll be doing that this weekend. Sorry. It's been rough this week. And Metallurgy Magic on the weekends whenever his schedule allows. If you would like to see past adventures, you can watch the VODs on our YouTube channel or listen to our podcast. Anything that we live stream usually comes out the week after, unless I'm dumb and overworked and completely forget about it, like this last Whiskey Wednesdays. Our podcasts are on most major platforms such as iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Samsung Radio, a bunch of other platforms. Donations are never required but always appreciated. If you would like to support us, please consider our coffee page, as all proceeds from donations and memberships go straight back into making Fools and Flagons a better experience, and it helps keep the podcast alive and well. We do want to thank you ahead of time for your follows and subscriptions and bits on Twitch. I do apologize that we cannot recognize them for the sake of not interrupting the story, but your support of us is always very much appreciated. So, that's kind of about all I got for announcements-wise.
I like how Zeke was trying to shame you. Hey Zeke, how's that Twitch or the TikTok stuff coming?
What? I'll just leave it alone.
I'm just giving you a butt.
Hey, Metal, don't forget to mark that.
Oh, yes, do that, please.
Oh, yeah, and check behind you.
I'm standing there.
I'm with you in spirit.
Very creepy, close spirit. Well, I mean, I guess if no one else has anything that they want to chat about, we can go on and get right onto it.
Do it.
Huzzah!
All right. Well, grab your drinks and raise your glasses. It's time for Fools and Flagons. Let's get it.
I have water.
Okie dokie. So, last we left off, the party is once again ready to be underway towards their goal, the Kingdom of Harpermere. The wagon home has been repaired as best that Zaan could accomplish with the supplies from Crossroads. Their new beast of burden, Cassie, a very large Parasaurlopholus, seemed eager to be part of the group. Perhaps a bit too eager. A slight bump sent a few of the Tempests toppling off the wagon, but with Brick's help as a triceratops, enough trees were shoved aside to make room, and Pez eventually got a better handle on navigating the unwieldy mobile abode. After an uneventful journey, they came upon the town of Crossroads, drawing a hefty amount of stairs as they rode through the town to meet the owners of the wooden hammer, who supplied the materials for the cart to be repaired. The twin swolbolds seemed enthusiastic as they offered to repair the home, sending the party off into the city while they inspected the wagon for damage. Unbeknownst to the Tempests, they'd drawn a bit too much attention, and as they worked their way through the crowd, others were working through their pockets, relieving them of their coin purses. After a swift hunt, the party made their way into the slums of Crossroads and performed a well-planned-out breach and clear of the hovel that seemed to be filled with children. We now rejoin the Tempests as Zaan prepares to go full-on Anakin Skywalker on these younglings who dared to take his gold.
Wait, what?
What?
I thought we were all good characters.
Hey.
No, you are not all good characters. Most of you are, yes. All?
Good is
no.
Subjective.
Master Zaan, there's too many. What do we do?
So, Zaan had just broken down the front door with his blade. A few of the children tried to escape through the back, where Brick was dutifully standing guard. As the door swung open, he kicked it shut, knocking one of them ass over tea kettle. And as Zaan approached the small gathering of children, an older one stepped in front, arms wide, and called a halt. I'm sure we can come to an agreement of some sort. No one must be hurt.
And, Yeah, that sword's gonna be immediately next to this dude's head.
Well, you can see that this is a younger human male, maybe mid to late teens, that has just inserted himself in front of you, and the 5 other very much smaller, younger children in the room.
Let me check something real quick here.
So,
Are you checking your
5
alignment?
Evil. No, I use the duration of
5 babies and 1 teenager.
You have no idea. You kick the door shut.
Yeah, I was about to say you're not.
Do I hear the beginnings of conversation inside?
You heard one voice and a few cries of alarm. The pitter-patter of feet. The door opened. You kicked it shut. There was a tumble, and then there was another voice speaking. You have no idea how many people are in there yet.
At this time, can I open the door? And I'm assuming I'm like taller than this doorway.
You, with your little hoop thingy, yeah, you would probably have to duck or get a little bit of a.
So I'll like crack open the door and kind of looks like just enough for me to go in and not anyone be able to run past me, and like lean in and come up, and then shut the door behind me and just stand there and kind of look around.
Bouncer
Okay.
mode activated.
Make an intimidation check while you're at it.
Don't fail this one. It'll be very embarrassing.
And also just for like references, so everyone else were outside the door.
I would assume that a few of you might either... Because Zaan has stepped into the home, so if any of you were going to follow him in, now would be your time to do so.
Intimidation 21.
Oh, okay. You hear a fair few little whimpers.
I kind of look around and notice his children and kind of... I had been coming in all like ready to bust skulls, and I see the children. I was like, oh, this is gonna be near as fun. And I kind of, and in my side, you see my size kind of visibly deflate, so to not be as intimidating, just kind of like confused.
Zaan hasn't changed in any way, shape, or form. Zaan is still like red.
So you got the blade up beside the young man's head.
Oh yeah. Not even blinking, and is just gonna look right at him and give me one good reason why I should not just cleave your head off of your shoulders.
He's kind of stands there for a second, gets this real shit-eating grin, and goes, "'Cause I'm a kid?"
I don't care.
You wouldn't want to be a murderer in Crossroads?
Do you see what I am wearing?
Clothes?
I'm from Rokasine. I've probably killed more people than you know.
I don't know where that is.
Don's just gonna think for a second.
Seeing that this is going nowhere, Brick kind of leans so he can see past on. Kasume, can you please come in here and find our money while we make sure no one escapes?
How much time has passed? About a minute, you think?
Oh, less than that.
The one that has my money is groveling on the ground.
Oh, yes. Break, I forgot that part. You look over, and there's one kid that's just completely supplicant on the ground, just like, not at anyone, just like whatever direction he was facing, it's like a wall, and they're just...
After Brick calls for Kasumi, how big is this kid? Was he taller than me?
He's about your height. He's real skinny and kind of gangly, that like middle of puberty, like super growth, but like nothing is filled in. He's just long.
I'm gonna grab him by the face and shove him aside. Or attempt to.
Okay. Yeah, make a shove attack. It's strength plus your
17 plus whatever.
plus your strength
My
modifier.
strength? So it's a dirty 20.
Because it's basically an unarmed attack. Dirty 20. Yeah. So you just reach a fluffy hand up and you shove him aside. No, he gets shoved backwards and he ends up tripping over one of the smaller children behind him, who lets out a yelp as he goes tumbling down onto the ground.
I'm gonna grab the person groveling and wait. So, like, I know the spell, like how I identify stuff actually like shows me where it is, but is it literally just like I have X-ray vision to this one item on him?
It's more like almost like a red glow in your vision. Like it's a location. So you see that like in the front of his shirt. As you pick up the child, it's not difficult. It's a small child. Just by the back of the scruff, you see that the shirt that they are wearing is like way too big for them. It's incredibly dirty, but it's kind of got the buttons down the front, and the red glow is kind of coming from the front. Makes him look like he's got a little bit of a pouch.
I'm going to try to procure my pouch from him. Post haste.
You were very easily able to shove your hand into the front of his shirt, popping a few of the buttons as you pull out your gold, and you kind of look at it, you shing, shing, shing. That sounds about right.
It will, One
Hi. As he finally is able to get his wits back around him.
Zaan drops him. I had to roll, sorry. I was like, put him down or drop him. 50-50.
Kasumi is going to sneak in after Brick calls out for her. Once she realizes it's a room full of children, she's like, oh! Well, this is new, isn't it? Which one of you, though? She puts her hands on her hips, and then she just does a swift movement with her hand and casts Mage Hand.
Oh, okay.
And she's going to start searching their pockets.
Oh, thank God.
Seeing what she does, Brick is going to go, oh yeah, and do the same thing.
Okay, so you both just start
Post up by the door and
feeling up
mage
kids with
sexual
your
hands.
magic hands.
We're not touching them. I said their
Okay.
pockets. Okay.
Okay. Both of you make an investigation check. I'm going to say a disadvantage, because these kids aren't really sitting still, and they're kind of cowering away from these ghostly hands that are coming towards them.
Investigation.
I don't
Yes.
find shit.
The older teenager has gone over to help up the child that Zaan just unceremoniously dropped to the floor. You all right, Milo? Kind of kid goes like, yeah. Oh. And he's kind of looking around. Then he finally sees Rebecca, and like immediately like scurries back over to the rest of them, and they're just kind of all huddled in a pile. Just
Rolled an 8, by the way.
an 8. Yeah,
Yeah.
You try, but you're so disappointed that you don't get to thump skulls because they're kids. You're just like, yeah. What'd you get, Kasumi?
Disadvantage. It was an 11.
An 11. You as well start to kind of send the hand towards them, but they're not really being restrained, so they're kind of like shying away from the hand, and most of the time with the spell is just spent like chasing after one and trying to get into their pockets, and then kind of giving up and going to the next one, and they're also kind of moving out of the way. It's not the most efficient way of trying
You
to...
are all very bad.
We try to box one in with the hands.
I have another idea. It might be bright and shiny and iridescent and possibly the same thing I did with the T-Rex. Could give it a shot.
I'll give you 30 seconds. After that, I'm going to start picking up children.
It's going to make them incapacitated. Not gonna hurt them. How big is this room?
We don't want any trouble. We'll just give it back.
Oh wait, you don't want any trouble, but yet here we are in your house because someone decided to steal gold from the wrong people?
To be
That
fair, no
doesn't
one's
sound
found us
like
before.
Right, but that doesn't really sound like staying out of trouble, does it?
You're only in trouble if you get caught, so...
I would like to argue with him, but that is actually quite
Who? Which one is the one that's speaking up right now?
That's the older teenage boy. that seems to be trying to... Whoever is speaking at the time or starting to get close or make any sort of movement, he's automatically trying to put himself between you and the other 5 that are in the center of the room.
Kasumi wants to walk up to him, put her hands on her hips, and like lean down so she's like at his height with her big eyes.
You guys.
You know, stealing gold is not really the best way to start things. Usually trinkets are a better way. But, you know, this is another way how you get seriously injured.
We have to make do somehow.
Why do you need to steal?
He kind of, like, looks around where they are.
Even Zaan's kind of looking at you like, really?
I get it.
Where are your parents?
We don't have any.
So, who's in charge?
Hi.
While you're asking
Okay.
these questions, the look of really is only getting more really.
So Kasumi's leaned in and Zaan's just behind her.
Like, who's in charge? Really?
So we're going to need all of our gold back, by the way.
Yeah.
Right
Yes.
now.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Turn your pockets out, everyone. We lost this round, and you see Milo kind of like pat his shirt.
He already got mine.
Points at Zaan, and you see a smaller girl, and actually, what's everyone's passive perception, real quick here?
18
I know.
for
I was going to
13.
say, I was pretty sure yours was 18. 13?
15.
15?
14.
13.
13? Venera, what was yours?
14.
14? Let me see here. Okay, so Pez and Zaan, you both noticed that the other younger male child, while his clothes look relatively worn and tattered and dirty, the rest of him appears to be a little bit cleaner than the others that are there. There's less grime on his face. His hair's not quite as ruddy and matted. But him and one of the other girls pull out the hefty coin purses from you. And they kind of look around, not really sure what to do. And the older one kind of bends down, takes them, and holds them out. Swear we haven't divvied any of it up. You kind of caught us pretty quick.
Well, yeah. Wasn't all that hard.
Out of curiosity, how did you find us so quickly?
It's not just gonna wave.
You didn't exactly pick the best target to be stealing from.
He's kind of holding the two massive coin purses, and he goes, I think we did. Almost.
I'm just glad that Zaan has been able to control his anger management a little bit better lately.
Oh no, I'm waiting for them to give the money back. Where I come from, we cut off the hands of the thieves.
He's literally holding the bags out, and no one is taking them.
I'm grabbing one.
I'll step forward, and I assume I can tell which one's mine and kind of take it back.
So Kasumi takes hers, and he was not expecting Brick to come up from behind to get it, so he kind of flinches and like,
Ah.
oh god. I thought that was just armor. What is that?
I am Brick.
Speaking of that, Venera and Pez.
Okay.
Hello.
What?
I am a new species. Pleasure to meet you.
I
Hello. So, bygones be bygones. We won't target you anymore. You won't turn us in. No? Yes?
Here's my concerns. What if you would have not been so fortunate and take them from some people that could be as forgiving as this group?
was forgiving.
As in, someone who wouldn't kill them on the spot for having the gold in the first place.
Well, when you have hungry bellies, sometimes you have to take those risks.
Is there not a care shelter or something in this town that can help children in your circumstance?
He just kind of gives a really sarcastic laugh. You followed us in here. Did you see one? Not exactly in a good situation, are we? Bit run down. Not exactly old enough to work the fields. They can't.
The streets is not a place for young children like you all.
We don't have another choice.
Devil's advocate, he does not seem to be lying about the situation.
Right, and that's the really sad and unfortunate thing.
Life's not fair. You do with what you can with what you got.
Where's Vanera? She's gonna peek her head. Vanera!
In the door frame.
Okay.
Kind of just standing there.
Hey, Vanera.
Hmm?
Do you sense anything with these children in here? Anything off?
Do I sense anything?
From what you've seen so far, they just seem to be scared, kind of down on their luck kids.
Did they see the horn?
None of them seem to react too much upon seeing you.
Okay. Oh, they just seem like kids. Nothing special about them.
How many of you are there?
It's just us. Look, are you going to let us go, or what?
How much does it cost for all of you to eat in a day?
A day? We're lucky if we can beg or steal maybe a silver or two every couple of days. It's enough for a loaf of bread, maybe some stew if we get enough.
Kasumi's gonna reach into her purse and she's gonna give them 100 gold.
He sees you holding out the coins, and you can see his eyes kind of widen, and he has a kind of bit of a greedy look to him, and then he pulls his hand back. What's the catch?
The catch is no more stealing. Use this, feed these children, and try to find somewhere safe. Just use it for food.
Well, I can't guarantee the last part. That would keep us fed for some time.
Exactly. To give you plenty of time to hopefully run into someone that could help you, or perhaps our paths will cross once again, and maybe we'll find somewhere for you. But at least it's something to help you, so you don't run into this situation with people and end up in a far more unfortunate ending.
Who are you people?
We are the Tempests.
Huh. Well, he kind of puts hand on his chest, other hand up. I solemnly swear I will continue to do everything I can to protect the little ones.
You are a
You
shield.
better.
No, I'm a boy.
Oh,
You're a
this is
shield to the
Patrick.
little ones. You're a shield to the little ones.
Oh, oi. Oi, protect him best you can.
Do you have a weapon?
Holds up his hands.
That is
Brick
very
reaches in. Brick reaches
As he holds
into
up his hands, you hear little noises from the children that are gathered behind him, and some of them have like pulled out sticks. One of them has like a little rock.
Brick's gonna reach into his belt and pull out one of his 2 hand axes and flip it handle first. Even a shield needs a weapon.
Brick, can he even live that?
He can learn to.
He takes it from you and kind of hefts it a bit, gives it like steps to the side and gives it a little bit of a swing. He kind of, you can see he's a little off balance by it, but whether that's the weight of the axe or the fact that he's still getting used to his growing body, it's a little hard to tell which is which.
Okay, and then I'm gonna get right in his face, like eye to eye.
Ah,
I'd electrical socket.
For defense only.
of course.
Do I believe him?
Make an insight check.
Ooh. 13.
13. Well, he definitely seems scared of you.
I'll take it. And I'll lean back and go and stand beside and kind of behind Kasumi.
Now, if all y'all don't get into trouble, then we'll be fine. But if you do, and we hear about it, I'ma feed you to our dinosaur right there.
Who are you gesturing to?
I'm pointing towards the para.
Oh, the pair is completely across town at the wooden hammer.
I assumed you were pointing to Hamburger.
I will
Yeah.
point to Hamburger
I-
then.
That's what I assumed, but I wanted to check and make sure. So you point at Hamburger, who on cue just like you kind of see the kid look a little confused, sees the display, and then kind of takes another little glance at all of you, and he seems to believe that threat.
He's vicious.
Still debating if I'm going to take a hand or not, so.
Yeah,
Zaan.
No hands.
let's not
No.
take a hand.
he
yet.
hears that, and I can't protect them if I don't have a hand.
You had. Luckily, your gods gave you 2 of them.
No hands.
Kasumi is
He's-
gonna put a hand on the oldest shoulder. Now listen. Thieving, irregardless of your purpose or reasoning behind it, is quite often perceived as something terrible by most people.
And she would know.
Take it from me.
Oh, aye, but with what you've generously given, that shouldn't be a problem anymore. Honest truth, we only did it to survive. We weren't doing it to line our pockets. We just wanted to buy wood, food, clothes. That's all, I swear.
Well, hopefully, now you won't have to do that for a while. But the skills behind the process can become handy in the future. So she reaches into her pouch and she pulls out one of her little wooden circular tokens with the fox emblem on it. She's gonna give it to him. So if you make it into a fun game between you and your siblings, then it's harmless. And you just return the item. But at least now, you guys know you have money for food and anything you guys might need for a bit longer.
We'll take good care of it for sure. He kind of turns and like beckons one of the younger ones. Reyna, go put this in our place. And he hands the coins to her, and she starts dropping some, and a few of the other kids come over and scoop up what she's not able to hold in her tiny little grip, and they kind of go off into a corner and kind of disappear from view behind a little wall. There's like a hole in the wall that they're able to crawl into. You hear them rustling around back behind there. Well, I honestly can't thank all of you enough, but not to put too much of a point, you're a bit clean to be in the slums, and you might draw a bit of attention to us.
It's been a long time since I've been called clean.
And as you say that, you kind of look at the kid, look down at yourself, and you go, he's kind of right, though.
I am fucking immaculate.
Again, just don't get caught. If you do, I don't know if I can keep our bunny friend over there from eating your hands. He loves hands.
Whitey's gotta pay. The payment is baby hands.
The crunchy ones.
I couldn't resist, I'm sorry.
Arl.
Well, I think our thieving days are over, so long as nothing happens to what you've given us.
Keep it safe. Keep them safe. And hopefully, we won't have a reason to come back for the same purpose.
Kind of glances back up at Brick, and well, I do too.
Rick kind of deflates.
But I'm bored.
Did you say you're bored?
Yes. This just sitting there cross-armed. I don't get any hands.
It's evening time, isn't it? I think we were about ready to like bed down.
It was around midday, I believe. You were
We were gonna get food.
You would drop the wagon off to have them inspect it, and you were going ahead and getting yourselves a room and looking at getting food when you noticed that you were unable to pay for your room.
I look at Zaan. Tavern brawl?
I'm not sure that would be a good idea in this town with me. You can do whatever you want.
You can go arm wrestle someone at the tavern. How about that, Brick?
Yeah, arm wrestling's better than punching the lights out of someone. Because if you go into jail, I don't think we're going to bail you out.
I'd like to see
won't.
somebody try to drag him to jail first.
Rick's just sit on the ground and say,
Oh, just go full limp noodle and let them. So you guys
Just
are
groove in the
heading out
ground.
of the little hovel?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm going to do the man check of phone keys, wallet, badge, making sure I have everything.
Pez walks
Just
out.
gonna look in the bag.
Pez has only ever really gotten like in the doorway, so as you all start to move out of the abode, Pez takes a step back and kind of goes, all there?
Rick's gonna do the same. Look in the bag. Look at everything on his belt.
I have a question.
For who?
'Cause I guess this is kind of more of a visual representation. When Kazumi goes back into fox form, does she have like a little satchel on her? Or is it that invisible?
Dealer's choice, really. If you want to have a cute little backpack, I'll allow it.
I'm just thinking like game schematic wise, would people still be able to pickpocket her in fox form?
That's a good question.
I'll have to think
That's
about
gonna
that.
be up to you.
I'll
that's
have to.
gonna be up
I'll
to
have to
you.
think on that one.
Okay. But for Flair, Kasumi's gonna go into fox form and jump on Brick's shoulder because she doesn't want to be anywhere near anyone else that could try to take her gold.
Okay, make an acrobatics check because that's quite a ways to jump, even for a little nimble fox.
She's gonna climb him.
Yeah, just clawing.
Acrobatics. Okay.
Rick's just going, ow, 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 ow.
Yeah.
That's a 10.
A 10? I would say the initial journey is
Oh, sorry, 11. I can't do math.
still the initial journey is not very successful and is painful, but Brick gets the hint and is able to kind of like help you up and kind of put
Now,
you wherever you want to go.
telekinetically shove her up in the air and like have and kind of move into place and have her land on my shoulder.
Sure.
Oh.
So you start to climb up Brick and you get a little oof.
Okay, there are definitely some fox yelps happening while she's hoisted in the air.
So intimidating. Might
Okay.
I suggest the door?
I would assume that they
Onward.
were already outside, but
Yeah, I think we're
Oh,
already
okay.
outside.
yeah. Okay.
While walking
So-
away from the door, if he notices any of the kids look out the door, he's gonna point at them with his sword. Just be like,
Well, you are definitely an interesting group, and they would be interested to watch you go, but you're all kind of walking by, and Zaan just like quickly whips around, and you hear some squeals and scampering as they dart back inside. So, you are still currently in the slums. The ground is a bit dirty and mucky. You still feel like there's some old flagstones underneath it. There's some solidity. Where are you all heading?
Back to the inn, I assume.
yes, we need to. Well, you guys need to get the room set up.
And what the hell are you gonna do?
I'm gonna give you guys whatever my portion is and let you pay for it, so they can't change the price after I go inside.
Oh, that's right.
Is
So
there,
the out of character.
is there a way we could, like, disguise you or something?
I will not hide who I am.
I mean, more power to you.
It's except Zaan does not hide. Unless I need to hide. Then I will hide, but I do not hide.
So
Good, get to
you all
take a
head.
hand.
You all head to the inn. Okay, so you all go back to the Underhill Inn, walking under the hill. You go inside and you see the halfling woman is still there tending to the bar, and she sees you all come back in and goes, welcome back. So, have you So, have you decided on a room or not?
Yep.
Zaan is outside for this.
I believe 3 rooms.
We didn't decide on this.
I believe it was 3 rooms were requested.
3 rooms.
All right. Just for the one night. Aye?
Yes? Week.
One night. To start.
One night? Be a silver per room?
Gold.
I believe the missus there said something about a gold coin. She's kind of pointing at Kasumi. Munch, munch,
She's
munch.
go back.
Oh, that's right. You're sorry. So strike that. I forgot about that part.
Gold.
Well, thank you kindly. Give me just a mo. She takes the coin and puts it in a little box behind the counter, and she reaches up and you see there's like a pegboard with a bunch of room keys. There's 3 levels of it. She kind of looks up and grabs 3 keys that are hanging next to each other. These are on the first floor up, right beside each other. Figured you'd want to be kind of near each other, I'd assume.
Yes,
What?
thank you.
Here you are. She hands the keys out. She also has to kind of reach over the bar to get your key to you, Pez.
Thank you.
We serve meals mostly throughout the day, not so much after evening times. Once the fire's out, but the mead flows freely usually.
For
You're
free.
welcome to... Not for free, but freely. We have plenty.
Yeah. Okay, just making sure,
Good
because
try, though. I like you.
Thank you.
What are we just talking about stealing?
In any case, welcome to Underhill Inn. Can I get you anything else for the mo?
No, I don't think so. You, this is a animal-friendly inn, right?
Well, of course. I see your fluffy little friend there. He's a cutie.
Yeah. Don't stick your finger out. He might bite it off.
Ah, bit of a biter. Understood. I gotta fly in my room. Fuck off.
I know. They're assholes.
Well, enjoy your stay. I've got other tasks need to be doing. She begins walking down the bar from where you are to someone that's been like very like drunkenly waving his arm at her. Azasia! And it's mid-afternoon somewhere.
Brick's going to turn to the group. What are our plans now?
Well, we have some time before. Of course. We have some time before we're needed. The cart is being serviced.
So, it is currently, if I have this right, the 18th or 19th of Myos.
It is the 18th.
I think it's still
18th,
the
okay. 18th of Myos. So, it's about, the wedding's on the 15th. I assume we want to be there a few days ahead of time, so we have about 22 days before we need to be in town for the wedding. And then another 32 days, and then it's 32 days before we need to be back in the Silver City to see what Kip has for us.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
I have it written somewhere.
Kazumi's gonna hop down off of Brick's shoulder and onto like the countertop.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's gonna shapeshift back into her female form, just kind of like sitting on the edge of it. Well, one thing that would be very important to me is finding a way to secure the gold.
As you say that, you hear from down the counter, the halfling, "Get your arse off me counter!"
She like looks over and she gets like a smirk. Me?
Don't make me get me rolling pin. I'll beat you.
I want to see this. Do it.
She just gives him a little smirk and then she just like hops down. Just like
Don't you
straightens out her
forget it.
kimono.
She like gets some pointing at you, grabs a wooden mug, and just starts like angrily wiping it. Just fucking...
So we need a safe for the wagon.
Some way to store this, because I would like to go shopping, but not with a heavy coin purse.
Indeed.
I wish that there was like some sort of bag that could hold all of this.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking of some sort of magical enchantment, probably be expensive, but one that was tied to the safe, where we could each have a bag where we and only we can reach into those bags and pull out whatever coin amount we want from that safe.
Oh, like an interdimensional teleportation bag from chest to
That sounds very in-depth.
You all
I
kind
read
of
a lot
look
of
at
books.
Pez, who just said like 3 4-syllable words in a row, and it made sense.
Exactly. Expensive, but useful.
So we need to find someone that's adept with the arcane magic.
Well, we already know that Alan fellow, Otis, I believe. Though he
Yes.
did seem quite busy.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we have the ability to summon him, do we? I don't think so.
You can go to him.
Then again, we do have another magical being who we haven't talked to in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Kip's any good at chanting.
I mean, I was more talking about us rubbing a rock. And
He's really good at putting mirrors on scarecrows.
Also, I don't believe our merchant friend travels outside of his own domain.
Oh,
mean-
Vanera, does he?
DM what I know.
You haven't tried yet.
We could try.
I'll try.
Pull out the rock, give it a squeeze, a little bit of rub. Okay. You say the word, squeeze the rock. It grows warm in your hand. It slowly cools.
Well, that should be interesting.
Yeah. I guess we'll see if Mr. the Coyote likes to come up here.
Anything else? I was thinking of a mayhaps adding some sort of tinker's workshop for myself and Pez.
Okay. I'm sure we could do that.
Yeah. I wanted to shop for trinkets and stuff, but once again, I'm nervous that my gold is going to be taken from me.
I mean, I could find a place in the cart that'll hide. Ooh, I know a place actually. So you know when Zaan was really mean to Snail and he threw him in the ice box area?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, there's a box inside of that area that we could shove all of our stuff in. We could have like a daily allowance and like just hide everything in there, change the little knob to where that room is disappeared, and it should be safe.
We could also always just ask the swolbolds just add a regular lockbox.
I mean,
Keep
that
track
too,
of how much each of us have.
but lock boxes are easy to unlock.
Yes,
We'll
they
put
are.
it in. We can still put it in the food chamber as a way to block it off.
Yeah,
How far away is the workshop from where we are?
It's, you know that it's roughly across town and out the western gate. It's maybe a 5 to 15 minute walk, depending on if the streets are crowded.
Okay.
It took you quite a bit of time to get through because of all the people gathering around to look at the wagon, and then when you were trying to come back in, there was still a hefty crowd trying to get a look at it, so you were sort of fighting your way through, and it did take you a minute to get back across to where the inn was, but yeah, you would guess anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes.
Okay. We want to go now?
yeah. I'll go with you if no one else does.
Do we want to add anything else to our list of requests?
I feel like we're going to be here for a couple days, at least.
Well,
A good
nothing
nap
better
and
to
a
do.
good drink.
I require neither of those.
All right. So
Onwards.
You all head to the Wooden Hammer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Walk out the door and Zaan's still in either. So what are we doing?
That way.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go
We are
talk to the
requesting-
big kobolds.
We are requesting the installation of money safe, so that we do not have a repeat of today's events.
Let me see something real quick. I swore I had one of those. Let me see what I could... Oh, I do. Okay. Zaan, like, I guess while Zaan was outside, the non-magical rope that he had, he was pulling a string out of it to hang his money thing around his neck.
So you were taking apart your rope to make
a necklace that I
Okay.
could put my money pouch in.
Like this.
Yes, literally like what she's got right there.
Talk about
Except
a
for
pain
it's
in the
probably
neck.
gonna be, it's
And
gonna be
wouldn't
much
that be
heavier.
like a huge sack?
We're going to have a
around it?
strong neck.
Exactly. Talk about pain in the neck.
I got a strong neck.
So
I get a strong
with
neck.
how long you all
Yeah.
with how long you all stayed in there, you come back out and Zaan has a you at first took out like a little string and then you thought, no, that's kind of heavy, and you get a longer one. And then you're like, I'm just gonna use the rope. So you make a loop with the rope and you've got your money pouch and it's big and banging against your chest, but yeah, it's hanging there.
And
You've
it's
lost
out in the open.
maybe 5 feet of the rope just from your messing around.
I have a magical one. It's okay.
Okay. So, you all head to the Wooden Hammer. It only takes you 5 to 10 minutes or so. The crowds have pretty much dispersed from earlier in the day, and people are milling about. You are kind of weird, but you're not quite as noticeable without a 2-story house on wheels moving through the town. And eventually you do get back to the western gate, and you see that your home is there, and the Polly, the one that you had seen wearing the woodworking gear, is currently on the roof and is kind of tapping lightly in places with his hammer, while Frankie is already in his shop, and you can hear the clanging of metal and the billows pumping as he's working.
Better see if I cast.
What ho!
You see Polly look up at the hailing, and he lifts a hand, waves at you, and then he just jumps off and kind of lands in a half squat and goes,
Hello, hello.
welcome back. Good hunting.
Yes, yes.
Definitely.
Good.
If a bit disappointing.
You didn't get
They
your
wanted
got
to
the
murder
money.
children.
Oh,
Let me take any hands.
can't eat the children. No.
That's
bad.
Not true.
Ah. It's... You be careful.
Talking about animals.
So, looked at the wagon. Yes. You have name for. Maybe? Make name. And he kind of like gestures over the door.
Put nice big pretty plaque right there with name. Right there.
Think about it. Structure, very good. And he's pointing at you, Zaan. Very good, very well done. Needs a little bit more. Other side, big boof. But we fix. Frankie, already working on structural bits. And you hear the clang. So, it should be maybe 150, 200 to fix. No problem. Actually, no. You provide metal for Frankie. He told me, bad Polly. He say 75 gold for fixes because you have materials. Very good. Yes.
He can whip his ass.
We also had a few requests to add.
Ooh, request, Frankie. You hear the hammering stop, and the other swolbold comes out, and he's got his dark goggles on. He goes, "What? They have a request. Come here." So he pulls the goggles up, pops on his head, legs over.
Request? Yes. Good. What?
First of all, to prevent what happened today with our money, we would request a safe be installed or a lockbox of some sort.
I can do. Yes.
You see Frankie nodding his head.
How big?
Perhaps.
Big one, little one.
I kind of look at the group.
Why don't you just have him make one for each of us that is a little smaller?
It's a good idea.
It's much easier to make one big one than mending little ones. Lots of working parts.
Could you make it about 3.5 feet tall?
Yes.
And maybe the same, a bit wide? A big cube?
Big box. You have materials already. Plenty of materials. You have lots of shinies. Me like. Me say 150?
That sounds fair.
Is for labor. You have all iron I need.
Is this fine? That seems very fair.
So good.
Can you make sure that it's a little bit spacious? Because again, I don't know what those two knuckleheads are thinking of? Because, I mean, a 3.5 cube...
That's just inside. Inside.
They
is 3 by
might
3.
shove me inside.
Bah, you'll fit easy.
And, yeah, just make sure it's a little bit roomy and comfy, just in case.
We'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
Again, Pez is 3'1".
Gonna lock yourself in the safe and do what's the old Duck McScrooge dive into the money?
Scrooge McDuck. Adorable.
Thank you.
Duck McScrooge.
Duck McScrooge. I never watched that cartoon. It was before my
Then
time.
don't reference it.
Also, we were wondering, I don't know exactly where we would put it at the moment, but perhaps some sort of tinker's workshop?
Workshop. Could do. And now Polly is speaking up. You have a room upstairs, not used. Bunch of crap in it. Could put in there.
As long as no one else has any objections.
How big is that room? Oh wait, you actually, I think you tagged this, didn't you? How big that room is ish.
Don't take the measurements to heart. That's more a general layout. It's a pretty decently sized room. It's a little bit bigger than the guest room where Pez had assumed the position before.
And which one is it? Is it the? Sorry, I'm looking at it.
It's the one across from the library. So
Okay,
it's top left if you're looking at that image.
Yeah, that could probably work.
What's the small one between the bedroom and the library?
It's just that little hallway where the bird cages were.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I cannot provide the materials for your tinkering, but can make very good workbench. Very solid, very sturdy, no break.
Is there any possible way of, like, having a little forge or something? Because, again, I might need to make some ammunition.
It would be tricky to have inside home. Very hot.
That might be something we need to talk to an enchanter about. Maybe add to the magic.
We cannot enchant. Can make very good, though. Anything else?
what-
Safe tinker's bench.
Yes. Zaan's gonna point up to like a central point on the top of it. Can you make the what is that? A harpoon launcher on top, so that if the card seems to fall onto a side or need to be pulled somewhere, we can right the cart?
You see them both in the same motion turn to look up and both scratch their little chin in the same motion. And in unison they go, "Can do." It's possible.
Yes.
I make swivel, you make cannon. And then Frankie will look to Polly and go, "I make the head, you make the shaft." Can do.
Such is something that I would think would be very useful just in case.
It's a good challenge. Would be fun. Yes.
Yeah.
I know you are repairing the structural integrity and all of that. Is there anything you can do about the astronomy tower, the telescope? Or would we need a specialist
No.
for that?
We are not that good with glass. No. Glass. It breaks.
Understood. Any recommendations?
Nope.
Very well.
No glassmakers here. No sand. He kind of like points around everywhere and there's dirt and grass and big rocks.
Pets down!
The sand.
Oh.
I miss how coarse and rough it is and how it gets everywhere.
We should have brought some with us.
Anakin Skywalker's arch nemesis.
They both look at each other, nod and go, "Desert."
Could you build him a sandbox?
Small sandbox.
Can make box, no sand.
No, so we can
A
make
box
fires
full
of
of
sand. Yes, make it like a inside the main room, like next to the door. Like
You
a
see-
small.
You see Polly kind of scratching the back of his head. I have spare wood. Yes.
Make it like Zaan's gonna like Pez measure him, just
Kinda-
like visualize in head. Make it like this big. just like you don't even tell him a number. Just like this.
Let's see what do.
Could you
Just-
put it by a window?
Are y'all trying to make a litter box for me?
Not
No, I just would like to have a way where you can bring your favorite terrain with you.
Yeah, and possibly sleep in.
Hey, look, I'm not some sort of ancient creature called a chinchilla that just burrows and rolls around in dirt.
You're
Y'all
not.
know what chinchillas are,
Yes,
right?
you are.
I'm confused. That is exactly what you do.
I think
This
they are
is
crazy.
literally-
They're little nuts, but they pay.
I have a really stupid question out of character.
Yeah.
If Pez were to be standing in a sandbox, does it count as favorite terrain?
No!
We just need to get a wheelbarrow with some sand and pull him with us as he stands in it.
I've got a jar of dirt. I've got a jar of sand.
Yeah, it's like Davy Jones on that little tiny island.
Oh yeah! They've got the bucket of water.
That's what I was going for.
I just gotta point
No.
out, for now that you brought that scene up, someone had the idea. I was like, well, how do we have this meeting? Well, we could put buckets of water down and you could step into them. And then at some point, Davy Jones went, yeah, that's a good idea. Instead of, you know what, just standing near the ocean.
Well, it seems like does anybody else have any other things that they would want to add?
I mean, I was pretty fine with the layout, the aesthetics. I mean, like, as long as y'all don't take care or take out any of the charm, I'm fine with it. I kind of like the vibe it gives off.
If you're not changing much, so I think the biggest things if you're changing is your Tinker station.
Indeed. Do leave some room for possibly a forge, because if we do find an enchanter who can make one that's safe for a wooden cart, we'll be back to install one.
Let's see what do.
They
And
both
sorry.
then look towards Kasumi and Vanira, who have not really asked for anything yet.
Anything for pretty ladies?
I would rather go and forage through little shops for what I'm looking for.
What to look for?
They ask in unison.
Trinkets. Incense. Symbols of Shanshe.
Yeah,
Just little things.
we are
They both kind of look at each other.
Say, dragon, noodle. Yes. Okay.
Zaan's gonna like poke Kasumi and like, you know we are in the Nightly Kingdoms, right?
Yes, I understand, but there are people, Takatari people, everywhere.
Judges Takatari. Yes.
How
I don't acknowledge her.
how many people from my neck of the dirt are there?
They kind of look at each other, both shrug.
More than 2?
But less than 10.
That's more than the both of you. So, all right.
Well, thank you very much for hearing out our changes. How long do you think this may take? Not as if we are in any rush, but
They both look at each other and they begin speaking in a very... Actually, hold on a second.
we will hold.
I'm checking things.
If we had a sponsor, this is where their insert would go.
Pez, I think you are the only one that speaks Orcish, correct?
That is correct.
You hear them speaking in Orcish. The rest of you hear guttural grunts and kind of clicking noises and generally unintelligible. They're kind of speaking about like what needs to be done and who needs to do what. And eventually they look back and they say,
2, 3 days tops. We are very good. Very fast.
I believe. Well, thank you very much for your time. I think we need to do a little shopping and some other things that can probably be taken care of before we come visit you. We will check back in 2 days and, worst case, 3 days.
Very good. Lady with tails. Look for little grocer in town. Might have what you want.
Okay.
Little man. Bit new. Very nice. Okay, we get to work. Goodbye. Go.
they both start like shooing you away from the outsides of their shop.
Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
I'm curious as to how they know that language, but that could be a question for next time we meet them.
They were speaking a language?
Oh yeah, y'all didn't hear it?
No.
So I guess that question would also be accurate to ask you, how do you know that language?
Look, when you grow up being terrified of orcs and raids and orcish raids, you learn to pick up a few words and sentences like, "I'm gonna kill you."
So, without sounding too much like the ass of smart, would that not be probably a good thing to assume how they know it?
I mean, I don't know if orcs tack up in here.
Well, they may not be. Did you ask if they've always lived here? Exactly. You never know.
I mean, I don't know where folk like me come from. Hell, for a couple of years, I thought I was a dragonborn that was just stunted at growth.
Fascinating.
Look.
So, we have what to do here now? I think, didn't they not say something about the grocer? And we don't need to see anybody else in town, do we?
I mean, Brick and I, if we want to look for a magic dude, we can.
I think they don't have any of those. No, that was
Glass makers.
the glassmaker. Yes, maybe it's the grocer. May know, especially if it's somebody who sells things.
I mean,
Onward.
It's a starting spot. Onward.
Onward!
Tally ho!
Okay. So you all head on into town. Takes you a little bit. The town is fairly decently sized, but stopping a passerby to ask directions, eventually you get led towards a quaint little shop. From the outside, it appears to be a normal shop. Items are displayed in the windows with little signs advertising daily deals and what's freshly in stock. In the window just to the left of the door is a display of potion bottles, candies, and knick-knacky type items advertised as MBC goods. You kind of peer through the window, and inside you see that there's a little waiting area with a windowed counter with looks like maybe some bread and bakery goods on display. Do you all head inside, I assume, to... Okay, so you...
He's on sick of sitting outside.
Oh, so Zaan actually goes inside now. Okay. Good. You head inside, and there's a little handbell with a sign that says "Ring once for service." Behind the counter, you see rows of ceiling-high shelves with rolling ladders attached to the top, much like the ones that you have in the library of the wagon. But it seems like most of the shop is behind the counter, where you are not able to really get to easily, and you're in more like a little waiting area up in the front.
Kasumi's gonna start looking around. If anything catches her eye, anything, shiny, that looks familiar?
It's kind of hard to see most of what's available. There are a few things on display that look like they were new once, but they're meant to be a display. Like maybe there's like a slight defect in it. And it's like, well, this isn't worth selling, so I'm going to set it here as like an advertisement. You had seen a few bottles in the front window with the little display. But most of the materials that you're able to see from here, this appears to be more of a general store where there's a little bit of everything scattered around. There's some food, there's like climbing gear. You can see some little spurs and some of the like climbing anchors. So it seems like there's a fair bit to look around at. Well, if you were able to get behind the counter.
All of it's behind the counter, though.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a bell to ring to get the...
Yes, so
owner's
there is a
attention?
little bell on the counter that says ring once for service.
Can I reach it?
Yes. Ting! The bell rings and seems to echo down the shelves. You hear a small voice go, "Just a minute!" You hear the little like...
I look down at the sign and see it only says ring once for service, right?
Correct.
I look at Pez. Wonder what happens if you ring it twice.
Yeah, let's not find out.
As Brick slowly puts his hand down.
Zaan's just gonna chuckle. I would have done the same thing.
After a moment, you see a little male gnome come running down from between the shelves. He seems relatively young compared to the other gnomes that you'd seen. He has slicked back brown hair with a large nose and a gloriously large curled mustache. He has a white button-up shirt, and you've never seen clothes like this before, but for those of us here in, the normal world, he's wearing brown overalls. But, and he has fingerless gloves on and a pair of brown leather shoes. And he finally gets up to you all and goes, "Welcome to the Little Grocer. How can I help you today?" And you see him, like, as he's speaking, he's, like, getting up and, like, getting a little step stool so he can actually be, like, above the counter to talk to you all. You all look
we're
like
just
new faces
browsing.
here. Welcome.
We're browsing, seeing what you have.
He kind of looks behind him. Not really a place for browsing, but you tell me what you want and I can tell you if I got it.
Do you have incense?
Oh, for sure. What kind you want? You got a smell you're looking for, laddie? Lassie. Sorry. It's been a day.
Dragon's breath?
Ooh, for the finer palate. That might take me a bit. That's free. Ooh, that's high and in the back. And he's already pulling out a little notepad and taking notes. Is that all you're here to look for today, aye?
Do me a favor. Can you find any incense in pine?
I thought you'd have a challenge for me. Scribbles down again. But surely I do.
Are there any gotta remember how to pronounce it.
Does Brick know how to pronounce it?
Does Zeke know how to pronounce it?
That's the real question. Here. Are there any Aslan scents popular?
Aslan sense. He kind of puts his elbow on the counter and starts to think. Well, short answer, not really. I've got things made of Aslan gold. Nothing
Be interested to see
particularly of an
those.
Aslan scent.
I
I mean, with her dragon scent, it's more kind of burnt and crispy, kind of like a campfire. It's very nice, though.
I would be very interested to see anything you have from Aslan.
Depends on how deep your pockets are. I'm not going to go back into the back and climb up those shelves just to let you look.
pull out
What?
300 gold and slam it on the table.
I will go grab some things. Anything else before I make me trip to the high heavens?
Is there a reason why you don't have your inventory out here for us
Pickpockets.
to look?
Me own paranoia, really. Gives me something to do. Keeps me
just seems-
sprightly.
Seems a bit difficult to shop when you don't really know what to look for, you know?
That's not always true.
To be
Kasumi.
fair, most people that come in here know exactly what they want.
Oh.
Yes, but I came in here to see what was available.
I see what you're saying, but I'm not going to redo me whole bloody shop just for you, lassie.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just, you understand.
I get it. I just
Sometimes
don't
you
care.
just want to browse.
That's a shame. There's other shops.
Perhaps a list.
What was that?
I said perhaps a list.
I have a list going.
No, like a big
Oh,
list.
shit. I'm
of-
sorry.
I got it. I thought he was being sarcastic.
No, it just... Woo! He kind of thinks... Cat... kind of looks out the window as some girl starts screaming. A catalog. It's not a bad idea. Kind of makes a little note at the bottom of his list.
Do you... Zaan's going to pray. Do you have anything of, Takatari nature?
We've got a few things of jade come in from Harpermere. No one really wants that here. Don't know why I bought it.
I want it.
Sure.
All right.
Zaan was just
Scribbles
like...
down.
Kasumi just like...
Give me that. I'll say it.
Do you have anything from down south?
As in... Emerald Point?
What the place where I come from?
He's
The
like
desert.
gestures with his pencil and his pad. I don't even know your names.
We are the Tempests.
All of you are called Tempest.
9.
Is that a weird
9.
family name?
9. No. I am Zaan.
Brick.
Oh. I'm Eddie. Nice to meet ya. Tell you what,
Oh,
I'll
he's
let
my
you think
favorite
about
now.
more of what you're wanting. I'll go and see what I can dig up from this. He steps down his little ladder and he starts plapping around down the shelves and kind of like looks up and goes, he goes way on down and you just hear the rolling sound of a ladder come.
Do you need help?
No, I've got it.
I have no idea, but like deep down in my soul, I don't like him.
He seems perfectly fine to me. I usually hate most people from this country.
There's just something about him. It's just I don't like him.
You
I
think
just,
Do you think that he's cohorting and, keeping sand from you?
look, enough about the sand. It's
Are
just
you
something else.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am positive.
You're positive. Like 100% it has nothing to do with sand.
It has nothing to do with sand.
How about
I
dirt?
will-
Could it be dirt?
I will put you in the dirt.
I don't know. I think you're probably going before me.
We'll go
do
in
like
together.
As long as we take a bath together.
Yeah, no, let's. You can take your own bath alone. I'm perfectly fine taking my own bath when my time has come.
Dirt baths don't count.
I'll look at Kasumi. Is it just me, or have we encountered a lot of the folk of smaller variety today?
Are you just saying that everyone that we've met today is extremely short?
Yes.
Well,
Zaan's gonna put his hands on his hips.
I wouldn't say it'd be any more than usual, but everyone is short compared to you.
Well, you're average.
In this form.
Fair point. Yeah, just an observation.
I'm just not fond of his shop style. I was thinking more like market style where everything is out to sea, so you know what's available and you can just kind of you can just kind of peruse. I'm being attacked from underneath the table, sorry. He was fucking Spider-Man underneath the table. What are you doing?
Spider cat. Spider cat.
So, did you think to possibly ask him if there is something like that here?
Well, to be honest, he was a bit off-putting, so I was gonna just say I was gonna get the incense and call it there, but then he mentioned Jade, and I couldn't help myself.
Why am I the only one at ease in here?
I'm at ease. I quite like him.
I don't.
All I'm saying is,
Also, I find it strange that we are critiquing his fear of stealing when we ourselves have just been victims of that today.
Oh, I'm not critiquing his fear of having things taken from him. It's difficult to shop when you don't know what is available. And you're just supposed to think out of nowhere what you want.
I think you're being picky.
I don't think so. What do you think, Venera? I don't think I'm being picky.
We all have different shopping styles, is all.
I just know from where I'm from, they usually have days where everyone in town will go through their belongings and take out things that they don't want anymore and set them out on a table. And they just walk through town and kind of look at everything, and sometimes you find something interesting that someone else has, and
where I'm from, we go to other countries and steal people's shit, but we're not in my country right now.
Well, we kind of have something like that down in my neck of the woods, like estate sales, where whenever anyone dies, we just like sell off all their stuff, and I mean, like, it kind of happens every now and then.
to me it's like treasure
Sells all
hunting.
their stuff. Okay.
It's like treasure hunting to me. I don't know. It's exciting.
Well, you can always come back after he's closed.
No,
I mean,
I'm not gonna do that.
if you want, I'm pretty sure Brick could leave a little, ooh, and it could fly around, take stock, and see what, like, secret things he's hiding. Because, again, something that short is hiding a lot of stuff behind a tall counter.
Yes.
I mean, that's up to you guys. I'm fine with just the jade and incense. We're gonna be doing a lot of traveling, so I don't need to find special trinkets right away.
All right.
I kind of
Right.
just look in the back.
Um,
Awkwardly.
I was letting you guys finish with that. It takes him a few minutes, but eventually he comes back, and he has an arm full of boxes. There's some bigger ones, some smaller ones. He sets them down on the ground, and he takes up the smaller ones, and he sits them up on the counter as high as he can reach. Then he picks up the other one, and you can see him kind of like awkwardly under one arm, like climb up his little step stool and sit it down. He goes,
All right, so, apologies for the wait.
and he pulls out the smaller box and flips it open.
You've got yourself an assortment of incense here. There's little cube ones, ones on sticks. You can... Whew, it's a lot of stairs. You can take a whiff, pick your choice. I'd say they're about 5 copper a piece.
How many are there, DM?
There's like 20 to 30 in there of differing scents and sizes.
Can Zaan just sniff and pick out whatever, like, 10 of which that are very decent to good smelling?
Sure. There's a few of them. There's some that smelled like a pine that was requested. There's some that have the scent of a like a roaring campfire. You've got that nice charcoal smell to it. Zaan, you find a few that have a strange freshness to it that's just makes you feel like you're back home in the like fresh powdered snow. And Pez, even you, as you're kind of sitting there watching him like sniff through, you catch whiff of one that's kind of a cactusy scent.
Cactus.
So however much you want to spend on those, you're more than welcome. They
You
are
said
about
5 copper each.
5 copper apiece, yes.
Uh-oh.
He looks up at you then, Brick, and he kind of motions you closer as he's kind of... he pulls out a long, skinny box and a smaller box about yay big. The smaller one he opens up first, and inside is a gorgeous gold pocket watch with a chain attached to it. And it's all it's weird because you've seen the watch that you found on the cart. It's nice and round, and it's a bit patina because of its age, but this stopwatch is round but angular in its design. It's a little odd, but
almost like a hexagon or something.
kind of.
Okay.
It's like if you were to look at it quickly, it would look round, but then you notice that it's actually like got the different angled ridges kind of going around, but it is almost octagonal, I should say.
Gotcha. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I gotcha.
But it's already popped open. The hands are not currently moving. It has not been wound, but it is a very, very nice pocket watch. It says, "This right here, 600 gold pieces. Damn near indestructible though. And once you wind it, I've been told it'll last you about a month before you have to wind it again. Over here," and the much longer box, flips it open. "This is from a famous astronomer across the seas." And you see, like the stopwatch, it's semi-round but very angular, is a telescope. And this is made of mostly iron, but the bands where it collapses into is that beautiful Aslan gold. This right here, I'll be honest with you, dropped it on by accident when I first picked it up. Nary a scratch on it, didn't even have to try. This thing's damn near indestructible as far as my reckoning. Looking at about 700 gold pieces. Apart from that, you, feisty little lady, and he points at you, Kasumi, and the other box he opens up, there's a collection of jade figurines. Different types of dinosaurs. There's one that looks kind of like a velociraptor. The one that looks like a really big wolf. And just a various assortment. These were pawned off to me by a traveler popping on through. Didn't think anyone ever would want them. Put them nice and high back in the corner. I'll let you have the set. 200 gold pieces, get it off me hands.
Okay.
Excellent. Any other
and-
takers? Ooh, yes, ma'am.
How much of the dragon's breath incense would you say? Like
Oh,
gold coin breath.
he kind of points over to the box that Zaan is still sniffing through, and he gestures to one area where there's a few cubes and a few of the sticks, and you can tell that these are the ones that he's gesturing because they're much darker than the others. Some of them are green, red. These ones are black. You've got the lot there. I can't really count from this area, but I'd say anywhere from 20 to 30 maybe for the lot of them. They all
Like
burn
20
about the same amount of time. It's more your personal preference if you want to light the cube and throw it in a little cup or something, or you've got the little stick holder, whichever's your preference.
I'll just take all that you have in dragon's breath.
Oh. Just a mo. And he kind of pulls the box away from you, Zaan, as you're catching sense, and he's counting them up. That's 30 and 5. Be 150. No. Your math is wrong.
30 and 5 is 150.
Right. I'm trying. I was gonna say 100 gold pieces. Like that is not right. We'll say 1 silver, 50 copper for the lot.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
That's just for the dragon's breath. And so
I was about to
she
say,
agrees to that. He takes them all out, shoves the box back towards you, Zaan, and he begins kind of collecting everything. He wraps the incense. Wraps the cubes in a little cloth sack, and he kind of gets some paper and wraps up the sticks to kind of keep them together, but not crush them or anything. And he sets those on atop the closed box of little jade figurines. So that would be 200 gold, 1 silver, and 50 copper for you.
You have any coffee? Or, I mean, I guess y'all probably don't know what that is. It's bean juice. You have any of that?
Well, I've got plenty of coffee.
Oh,
Is there a
you do know
particular,
what coffee is.
particular type you like? I'm
Black.
changing this dude's voice up left and right. Good God.
I want the strongest stuff you have.
How much?
Yes.
All right. And he kind of gets down his ladder.
Okay. You have any leaf juice? Am I saying that right, Kasumi?
Oh, tea.
Yeah, that stuff. Leaf juice.
I've got a little bit of tea. Haven't had a supply come in a bit. You got the flavor you want?
Kasumi, what would you recommend?
I'm a fan of chai myself, but I'm also open to any other type of herb mixture you might have.
Let me see what I can get. And he shuffles off. He doesn't go as far this time. He actually just kind of goes to the end of one of the shelves, and you see him just grab a big burlap sack. It sort of like half falls over, and he just starts like, He's like dragging it towards the front. It's about as big as he is. But Pez, with the movement of this bag, you get that glorious coffee bean whiff. You're just
Pez, are you going to?
So he sort of leans that up against the back of the counter and goes, "That'll cost you a gold piece right there."
Done.
I'll be back with the teas. And he's already kind of like hands on his hips, kind of huffing and puffing. He's kind of looking at the end caps of his shelves, and he disappears around the corner for a second.
Hey, DM. Just so I have this straight, your coin conversion is in
Hundreds.
hundreds, not tens.
Correct.
Okay.
Because I'm lazy and I don't like trying to do the math.
Okay. I was just making sure because I thought it was normally in things of 10, not 100. So I was just making sure.
I can always swap it if it's easier for you guys. I don't
No.
really care.
Nope. You do what you want.
No, I was about to say that makes me a lot richer. No, it's okay.
That's why I was second guessing.
Well,
saying it
actually,
out loud,
now
was
that I
just
think
like,
about it, D&D Beyond won't convert it properly, so we may need to go to the 10 coin version just for ease of D&D
Well,
Beyond.
copper's 100, silver's 10, electrum's 2, gold is gold, and platinum is 10.
Right, but if you
It
were
really
to
has all
subtract 50 copper, it would theoretically take 5 silver as well, potentially, is what I'm getting at. Whatever the prices I said, just go with that for now, and I'll have to revisit, because I totally forgot that was a thing. I was immediately going into, like, American currency and how we do it in our hundreds.
No, you're good. I was just because I was trying to figure out. Okay, I have a bunch of numbers on my screen, and I was just trying to get it down to like one currency. So I was like, how can I get rid of some of this?
Do
other
the
money?
basic D&D conversions there. It's
Okay.
in tens.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, leaf juice.
Right. So after a little bit of time, he comes back and he's got looks like a stack of 3 boxes that he's carrying with him. Doesn't seem to be struggling with these. These seem to be fairly light. And he sets them up there and he goes, I have the black, got some green, and I believe, I actually don't know what this one is, to be perfectly honest with you.
Chartreuse.
Kasumi's gonna lean up and just take a big, like, sniff of that box.
It is chai. I'm not much of a tea drinker myself. Bought them on a whim. Lots of people want it. I would
She
say...
aggressively points at it.
I would say, for their rarity, 20 copper per sachet.
For one gold? Wait, math.
I don't know what a sachet is.
One of the things you dip into the water.
Oh, tea bag. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, 20 gold per
No,
tea bag?
copper. Copper.
Oh, okay, I was like, what?
What?
I'll buy like a gold piece worth.
Of just this one?
The chai.
Kinda
That one.
looks inside it, just closes the lid, adds it to your pile. Anything else the rest of you might want? Have you decided there, big fella?
I'm gonna put in assortment of it's gonna be all of my copper, and the majority of my silver, and then the rest is made up by gold. But it's gonna equal to I think he said 3 and 7, so it's gonna be 1,000.
I believe I said 6 for the watch, didn't I?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's gonna add up to the total.
So that'd be 1,300
9
gold for the telescope and the watch. 700 plus 600 is 1,300.
You're correct. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, gotta get rid of all of this. But yeah, so I'm gonna buy both of them, and I'll do the math.
Well, big spenders. Happy to have your patronage.
Zaan will slide his 50 copper over the counter. Take 10 blocks of incense. Big business, big spenders.
Big expenses.
One other question for me. You wouldn't happen to know of any magical kind of person who could make magical kind of things for like magical uses?
Not magic.
He kind of leans on the counter again and kind of strokes his bare chin, starts to twiddle with his mustache. Not that I can think of. Not in this town, no. They're more the rough and tumble type out here. Swords, bows.
Any firearms?
No, not that I can think of. That sort of thing I'd expect from the major kingdom cities. Not one of us outliers.
Interesting. Have firearms up in the kingdom. Huh. Alright.
Well, if that's all you've got, and the door opens behind you and a lady with 2 children in tow comes in. If that's all you're buying, I do have another customer to attend to.
We will take that break. You might want to help Pez with the bag. You might also want to help Mr. Eddie with the bag.
I'll just pick it up.
Yeah,
pull it over
you
the
were
counter.
able to lean over the counter, just grab the whole thing. You see him as he's collecting the other things. Show off. All right. So you make your way out with your purchases, feeling fairly pleased.
I bought so much today. Very nice day.
I really don't like that gnome.
He gave you a bag of your coffee.
Yeah, I know, but still, there's just something in me. I hate him.
Do we want to go run this stuff back over to our house?
Probably be a good idea. Real fast. And then what did we want to do afterwards?
Food.
I'm pretty
Pocket bacon.
hungry.
Yes, it is true.
You have been running around most of the day.
Yes. The hunger. Well, we can always go back to the inn for food. I think they said that they sell that stuff most of the day.
Okay, so you head back to the wagon. You see that the brothers are already starting to pull some planks off, put new ones on. Frankie is busy, and you can hear the hammering is happening faster and more often now. And it's a little bit Zaan, it's actually a little bit uncomfortable for you. It's very, very shrill for your sensitive ears. But yeah.
It's in 4K.
But you're able to store your new purchases in your home, head back to the inn to grab some food, and that's where we're going to take a quick little break. So we'll be back in just a few moments after we get some water and such, so don't go too far.
Yes.
And we are back. A very short little break. So, picking up where we left off, you made your purchases at the little grocer, took your items back to the home to store them safely away, and then made your way back to the inn. Is there anything you all would like to do for the night?
Food.
Or I should say even for the next few days as everything's being worked on. If there's something you would like to do in the meantime, we can. Otherwise, we can skip ahead to when things are completed.
So I do have one question. Did we ever find out what was in the Harper district, or was that just like we haven't actually asked?
You haven't really explored too much of the town yet.
I was about to say. Well, when we going for food? Well, yeah, when we going for food, we're eating at the inn, I'm guessing, right?
Probably,
Sounds about right.
theoretically.
Yeah. Just ask the barkeep what it is, and if it's nothing, then skip.
If what's nothing?
If there's nothing of interest, like when.
Oh, I see. I am finally picking up what you were putting down.
This will be the first time I've actually entered the inn.
Where is my map? I found it. Okay. So you go on in and speak to the barkeep as she's bringing out your food and all. And what questions would you like to ask her?
So what is in the part of the town south of the slums?
She has to speak up a little bit. There is a platform and there are some bards that are playing as the music kicks up. South of the slums? Well, in that area, you're in the Harpermere district. Not much there. Really just a bunch of hoity-toity people. There is the tailor in that area. Makes some very good clothing. And since you're new here, I'm assuming you also are not terribly familiar with the Welter district. That's where... sorry, the Welter district is also where you found the little grocer. That's where most of the judicial populace lives.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of familiar with them already, but yeah.
I'll be honest, there's not a whole lot to see and do around here in town. It's a bit of a pass-through.
That is fine. I just want to not be anywhere with the judicial people, but thank you very much for the information and the food.
Well, of course, you paid for it.
Yes.
If we are going to skip, because I assume that we're just going to skip to when everything is ready, I did have two questions. One,
Sure.
Is the merchant going to be coming?
Oh no.
We were going to get to that.
Okay. And number two, Pez would like to go to this tailor.
Okay. Well, it is getting on into evening today, so... yeah.
Like the next day.
Got it. So, the evening passes, you have your rooms. They're very nice, they're very warm, they're very comfortable. very clean. I don't know if Pez would be uncomfortable with this fact or not. But
The room's nice. Do you hate it?
Look, I am not some mole. I like. And look, I was a farm boy.
Yeah.
a mole.
Nice room. Good soup.
Okay. So the morning comes. Pez expresses interest in going and visiting the tailor. Is there anything anyone else wants to do?
I would like to take a moment to cast Identify on the watch and the telescope, just in case.
Okay. They don't come back as magical. They are just very well made items.
Okay, and I'll go ahead and wind the watch too, so now we can know what time of day it is.
Remember to
go.
set the watch at the
I
right
want to
time
go
of
for the
day.
tailor too.
Okay, so 2 for the tailor. Vanera, Zaan, you guys doing anything?
I'm tag along to the tailor for the hell of it.
Sure. I'll go.
Okay.
Same.
Okay. Making a trip to the tailor shop. Ba-doo-doo-doo. Okay, so you actually get directed almost all the way back to the western gate where the Hammer Brothers are, or where the wooden hammer shop is. You do have to cut down a little bit of an alley, and you are greeted with some very, very nice green grass. And, yeah, it tickles your feet weird. You don't like it. But eventually you get to the back and you see 2 people standing at the shop's entrance. It is a little strange because it's on the interior instead of being out on the street, but it has very clear signage pointing you into this location. But there are 2 people standing there. The one appears to be a human male, and you see a tall, purple-skinned tiefling, black hair with the tips dyed blue. They have horns that curl from their forehead down around their ears, like ram's horns. And they are currently wearing a very nice suit. It's got a very form-fitting coat, vest. The trousers go down into calf-high boots. They have a small top hat on, and they're leaning on a cane, and they're just pleasantly conversing with the man in front of them.
Fancy. Excuse me.
Oop. Yes, just a moment. Sorry, have customers. Have a good day. And the man kind of like glances you all, gives you a little bit of a scowl, and he kind of stomps off.
Zaan's gonna make a face at him as he walks past.
She smiles pleasantly and waits until he's out of sight. And she looks at you all and goes, "Thank you for that. He was quite annoying. So, how might I help you?"
I assume you're the tailor.
"Oh, yes. Pardon me." And she kind of first gestures up to the sign behind her that says the tailor, and it's very, very beautiful script. The bottom part of the R at the end kind of extends out to underline the word and ends in a spaded tail tip. She gestures to that and then to herself and does a very elegant bow, leaning on the cane. "I am Rosa de Moselle. I'm the owner, proprietor, and sole worker of the tailor. So,
You said Rosa de Razel?
Moselle.
Oh.
Rosa de Moselle.
Okay.
So, how may I help you?"
I mean, I honestly didn't know that all of them were coming here. I was trying to keep it a secret, but I wanted to get like a Team Tempest like hoodie or something. But anyway, that's beside the point. All jokes aside, I am actually looking for a wardrobe that might not be too off-putting to some of the people who aren't used to my ilk, because I do come from the West, and not a lot of people are used to people from the West, so...
She kind of looks you over, and you're kind of like rough, rawhide leathers, and to be honest, it suits you, but I would be more than happy to make anything you wish. Please, come inside. And she gestures for you to walk into her shop.
Han's gonna look at Brick. Did he just... I feel insulted. Not really, but like, I feel like that also applied to me.
I don't know why you would feel insulted, but if you do, ha.
Oh yeah, Brick, you can't wear clothes.
I don't need to wear clothes.
No, you can't.
Is there like a cloak nearby or something?
Do you walk
have
into
a
the
bandana
shop?
on.
Yeah, I thought we were all in the shop. My bad.
She gestured for you to go into the shop, but no one really said anything.
I chop.
Yes,
Okay.
but they
Yeah.
Pez did.
Kazumi's gonna nudge you guys in.
Yeah,
Let's
I
go.
assume we were having this as we were walking
Okay.
in.
Following.
Yes, you. So you walk into her shop, and you see that it's very nice and very warm. There are plenty of soft chairs. There's a small dais with 3 mirrors on it. There's 3 dress forms off to the side, ranging from smaller to medium to brick-sized. And you see that there is a back counter with what looks like a little flip-up partition to get behind it. But it's kind of small, kind of cozy, and there are a few things on display. There's as you were looking, you see like a rack of cloaks that you can see there. There's other like vests and jackets. None of these are terribly elaborate. They look to be more for trying and seeing if the fit works for you, or if it basically sizing clothes more or less.
I go over and I take one of the cloaks and I put it on. I was like,
Does it fit?
He put the cloak on.
Is it the right size?
Sure.
I find the biggest one and I put it on.
Nah, it doesn't look good on you.
This actually brings up a serious point, you guys. We're going to need some really nice, fancy attire for the wedding.
That was also going to be my second point.
Oh, my neck is cracking every time I do that.
I'm gonna take the cloak off, put it back where I found it. Does everyone need?
Yes,
That-
you're naked.
I'm not naked.
Naked.
I have armor.
You're naked.
You hear a chuckle from behind you and the clicking of the cane. You all are quite interesting. A wedding, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you have any tunics that would fit that one? And she points at Brick.
What's wrong with
Preferably
armor?
like black and nice and sleek looking.
I will not be very good.
Maybe not quite on hand, but I can make anything to fit anyone.
Good enough for a royal wedding?
A royal wedding?
Mhm.
That is a bit more challenging. Might I inquire which royal house you are speaking of?
Rick
Is
will
this-
just reach into his bag and pull out the invitation.
Was that the tiefling talking or the
Yes, the
tailor?
tiefling. No, the tiefling is the tailor.
Oh.
Yes, sorry. The other was just a human male that was kind of talking her up.
Oh.
She kind of leans in to read the invitation that you readily had available to pull out, so well done, I guess.
Thank you. It always sits right here by my desk so I can keep track of the date.
Ah, Harpermere. Interesting. Well, I suppose you have 2 options. You can go along with their colors of blue and seafoam green, or you could stand out, be unique amongst the crowd.
Zaan's gonna just gesture to himself.
He especially needs a new wardrobe.
How about
Nope.
neutral colors?
Prefer earthy, summer, spring, fall.
I don't know, Brick, what do you prefer?
Rick kind of crosses his arms.
Brick is okay. Out of character, real fast. You are like copper color. You're like bronzish, right? If I'm not mistaken, or slash gold.
No, he is predominantly like steel. Like he is that kind of
So kind of gunmetal gray.
Kind of gunmetal gray with golden highlights with all the designs from his Aslan designer.
No, I don't know this stuff. This is outside of this. I don't know. Okay.
I don't like this idea.
Why?
I don't know.
Are you afraid of not
I
being
can feel it in me bolts.
You feel it in me boots. It just feels wrong.
Just about as wrong as that accent that you were trying out the other week?
Zaan is not holding back his laughter. He is definitely laughing.
Excuse you, I am still testing this accent.
Mm-hmm. What else did you, read in that book? Something about etiquette and,
I skimmed that part.
Rick, at this point, you feel a little tug on your arm as Rosa is lifting said arm with a little measuring tape and is already... She's quiet, she is grinning, but she's taking measurements.
I'm pretty sure there is most likely going to be a section about attire in that book, so you could always go back and read up on that.
Fine. I do have one condition, though.
Yes.
Either traditional dwarven colors and attire, or traditional Aslan colors and attire.
You see Rosa's top hat behind Brick, and eventually she kind of pops up and goes, "I can do that." And then kind of disappears again. She's going a bit lower and not being very ashamed of where she's measuring.
I'm gonna be honest, I thought that would have been a much harder sell. Damn it.
You doubt my talents. Cute.
Taking a look around, are most of the things that she has on display like traveler's gear? Or are there any like gowns?
You see a fair few items on display. There are riding leathers, there are dresses, there are more common clothes, regular button-up shirts, tweed trousers. It seems that she has a fair assortment available.
How familiar are you with silks?
She doesn't answer you immediately. She's gets Brick's inseam real quick, and you notice she's not taking notes. She kind of loops the measuring tape around her neck, and she's walking over to you now, Kasumi. She doesn't have the cane with her anymore. It seems she can walk just fine. It was more aesthetic. Silks are a bit harder to come by, but she kind of is looking you over. I will be honest, it is, your style is a bit outside of my practice, but I could very well make do.
Could you possibly do something cherry blossom themed?
Cherry blossom. She kind of writes it down. She kind of goes over to her table and writes it down. in the similar... this?
She takes a step back and looks around because she's still got like her draped kimono. I'm always one for kimonos, but you can add your flair to it. I like big, droopy sleeves. Oh, and also something to accommodate these. And she turns out and points to the tails.
Ah, yes, you are not the first one that I've had to make tail holes for. It will be done.
I have a question.
She walks over to Kasumi and begins to measure her. Yes.
You said you can do either or. Can you combine them very similar to how I am?
I will do my best.
Ow.
Sorry. Bit prickly. So she takes a few minutes to measure Kasumi, and when she's done, she looks at Zaan, who's shaking his head, and instead goes towards Pez. Is there anything in particular you would like?
As a matter of fact, yes.
Well, do tell. She starts measuring your wee little arms.
So in some of those books, there were a couple of pictures of different kind of artificer kind of people. One of them caught my eye, and I was wondering if you could make me some leathers that'll of course like cover this two-piece. Perhaps like a white frilly shirt or coat, and then like a sort of like open jacket kind of thing, and maybe like a shoulder cape.
I'm describing a musketeer. Look.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of wondering where you're going, but now I can see it.
Yeah. Oh, I believe I could manage. You say with artificing, you want this to be looks or more functional?
Functional would actually be preferable. I'm like a tail bag would also be kind of handy too.
Am I to assume you wish for a hat? She's looking at the one that you're currently wearing. Or would you like it to be themed around this wonderful looking piece?
Yes, please. I actually have a velociraptor who kind of needs to go through a little bit of preening, so I might be able to grab one of his longer feathers that you could shove in there too.
She kind of looks over at Hamburger, who's kind of laying on his back in the afternoon sunbeam coming through the window. It's just sunbathing on the floor. If that is what you wish, I can come up with something for sure.
Yes, please.
She finishes taking your measurements, and then she looks at Vanera, deciding to save Zaan for last in case anyone needs to or wants to try to convince him again or further. And you, madame?
Just a form-fitting dress in their wedding colors, so the green is fine.
Seafoam green? It would look very good with your complexion. But a moment, and she begins measuring you as well. Any sort of design with this dress? Smooth, patterned?
Smooth with a small train.
Ooh, lovely. I'm writing as fast as I can.
Right faster, damn it!
All right. She finishes measuring Vanera and stands back up and looks at Zaan. You are sure?
You have to wear something nice for the wedding.
You do. Again, I may be stinky, but how long have you been wearing that? I'm pretty sure it's musty under there.
Svet, like you.
I assure you I can make you something suitable.
Zaan will cross his arm and grumble, thinking for a minute.
She walks towards you as you're thinking, forces your arms to unfold, and starts taking your measurements.
fine, but must have fur on it. The white fur. Look. Well, fitting for the son of a god.
As you say, she doesn't seem to believe you, but she finishes taking your measurements, and she goes over and she jots down a few notes on the pad on her counter. Very well. She begins scribbling some more. I would say this will take anywhere from 200 to 300 gold for the materials and the labor. I can have it at best 2 to 3 weeks.
How much?
For the moment, we will say 300 gold pieces.
That's per person, right?
No, for the lot.
Oh,
Oh. That's fair. So what, they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 60 gold each? You can do that.
Here, you know what? I'll pay for it all.
What?
300?
Yes, sorry.
All right, 300.
Excellent. Will you all look to be the rough and tough, adventurous type? Will you still be in town by then?
Probably not.
We'll be back
Is
in town.
out of curiosity, do you deliver, or have somebody who delivers?
For the price you are paying for these, it can be arranged.
1 second. I have to remember the name of the place.
have them delivered to Fern?
Yes, in to the magic bean in the. I'm gonna relay Fern's location. The magic bean in the capital city.
The Magic Bean Cafe. Very well. She takes the payment from Pez. I assure you, you will love the way you look, or your money back.
I guarantee it.
Fucking A.
Very well.
Wait, she said how many weeks?
2 to 3.
2 to 3. Okay,
Plenty of time.
that's cutting it close.
Well, she takes the top hat off, and without looking, she chucks it across the room, and it lands on a little thing. Kind of pulls her hands out, cracks her knuckles. Appears I have some work to do.
We'll be sure to launch your name and everything.
This would be much appreciated.
And just remember, the Tempests came through here, and that'll hold quite a word. Wait, word. Yep,
Do not hurt yourself.
I'm hurting myself right now.
Joke's on you, I'm always hurting myself.
Well, if there is nothing else, I bid you adieu. It is getting late, and I have much to prepare for. She begins to kind of like usher you towards the exit.
Goodbye.
So,
So,
you're all back out in the city. The shadows are long. You're not even able to see the sun over the wall anymore. What would you like to do?
Are we going to fast forward until
Gonna have a montage. Montage. Motherfucking montage.
And so it shall be.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Actually, Zaan does need to do one thing. But not with everyone else nearby.
Okay.
Do you want me to just send it to you?
Sure.
It kind of has to happen before the birthday.
Sure.
Yay. So please continue. I will message this.
Okay. So you all take the night. You get up the next day. You wander around the town a little bit. looking for the merchant. You don't see any hint at the time. Waiting to see what Zaan has to say. Stalling for time. Doodly-doo. Ah.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. So we'll say that you're able to do that one of the evenings when you're alone, without any issue. The next day comes and goes. You wander around the town, enjoying the sights. Wandering around, you find out that Cassie actually came from a place to the east called the Butcher. She was being raised for eventual slaughter, thus her size, but she was purchased for, while they do raise them for slaughter, occasionally they will be bought for pack animal uses, being used in the fields that are to the north of the town. The next night passes without much issue, I think, unless one of you chuckle nuts are being naughty.
No, I'm behaving.
Okay. Okay. The next day comes and you go and you check on your wagon and you do find that it's slightly delayed but should maybe be ready to go by the end of the evening. Most of the requests have been fulfilled and they assure you that there's only one more final touch that they're trying to add in. The evening passes and we are now on the day 21 of Myos. The beginning of the week, you wake up from the Underhill Inn. We'll say with your gold that you gave to Anastasia that your room has been covered for quite a few days at this point. You awaken to a oddly empty front area of the tavern. Anastasia herself is even standing by the front door, looking outside.
Bit
God.
odd, isn't it?
Oh, good morning. Seems we have a visitor in town today.
Who?
We're just gonna go walk over to the window.
Okay, you walk over to the window, and you see a little crowd of people over towards the small little fenced-off park area. You see a familiar, very tall, Fastieth head over top of the crowd, peering around, looking a bit confused and out of sorts.
Well, well. Guess he does make house calls all the way up here.
I'm going to admit, was not expecting that to work.
Oh, I was.
I'm gonna run at the door. Merchant!
Okay, so Zaan sprints past, leaving you all behind, hands in the air, starts like elbowing his way through the crowd.
Jump over and fuck that shit.
Oh, okay, fair enough. The rest of you following suit, I'm assuming?
Mhm.
Yep.
But more politely.
Excuse me. Get your butt out of my face.
I know fly, I jump good.
I'll just do the Andre the Giant. Everybody move!
Between your shouting, the flying bunny, stairs begin to turn towards you as this big metal man starts like just making a Moses path through everybody. The rest of you follow suit, and you see that the crowd are equal parts gathering for the novelty of the dinosaur, or the Fastieth in question, the Dimorphodon that is asleep with its sail having been painted, and there's another smaller crowd that's basically making a queue to get into the back doors of the wagon.
So, remind me, is the back door the only way in, or is there a
Yes.
separate entrance?
It's the back doors.
Kind of look. How long is the line?
It's quite long.
Vanera just walks in.
You get some disgruntled huffs of some uppity ladies, but you give them no mind and you walk right on through.
Kasuma's gonna follow suit and just kind of like speed walk up right behind Vanera.
Brick's gonna fall. Sorry, we're late for our shift, and walk in.
I'm gonna walk in, but just like hide my face in shame with my hat.
Oh, the manners!
Zaan's going to assert himself into the door. Fuck people.
Okay, Zaan, as you are stepping up, someone else seems to, as someone comes out, another person starts to move in, you just sort of shoulder your way past them. You all enter into the very familiar sight of the merchant's wagon. You're immediately greeted with that oppressive heat from the desert, but inside the wagon. And you see that it is very, very crowded. Most of the populace seem to be dressed and looking like they're from the kingdoms. And you see all the different sort of ethereal servants that look much like the merchant, but are waxing poetic about the items on display. And after a moment of you all moving through, you hear a strong clap of the hands, and you see arms spread out. Ah, my friends! It has been far too long! Welcome! And you
Hello,
see
old one.
the merchant walking through the crowd towards you, and the people seem to be kind of making a berth around him. They're giving him space. Well, how
Greetings,
y'all
ancient one.
been? I ain't that old. You shut your mouth.
Yeah.
That's gonna add 10% to anything you buy today.
Only
Worth
to
it.
him, though.
Well, how can I help y'all?
Well, I mean, I had a question, but I'm sure everyone else does. Actually, two questions. One, do you have any new items?
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Once y'all left the desert, I ain't had too many people buying up my stock. I have replenished some of my healing potions, but as far as my magical items, that area seems to be quite a bit more stagnant.
Let's see. Well, hopefully this town changes that. It seems you are quite the attraction.
Well, I don't quite often make my way up this far. Not a lot of people know about me here, so I'm sure this will be a bit of a novelty for them.
Question number two. I was looking for a specific item. One that, it's like a bag that holds things, but like a lot of things.
A bag of holding?
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Well, I do believe I've got a few more of them laying around.
Do any of these bags have the magical properties of teleporting items from one place to another, kind of like a interdimensional portal from a lockbox to the bag, so that then we don't have to keep like going back and forth?
Y'all's using some big words for someone so small.
I read books.
Well, ain't that dangerous.
Very.
Well, to answer y'all's question, no. Ain't nothing quite like that in my personal repertoire. I'm trying to find the damn...
His personal repertoire.
No, I got the personal repertoire. I just can't find that spot of the...
It's in pinned messages.
Sure, I saw the stuff that we bought in there. I wasn't sure if...
I meant as far as the,
Bag of holding.
yeah. I know I had it here. I will do a search.
While you're searching for that, you wouldn't happen to be able to modify said bag of holding to transmogrify and teleport, would you?
Unfortunately, once a bag of holding is made, it is what it is.
Are you able to create such an item on commission of a healthy amount of monetary money?
No offense, but I don't think y'all have quite that amount of money. It would also take me the better part of a year.
Don't know if I'll
Making
be
items
alive
such
by
as
then.
that is quite the endeavor. Especially for what y'all asking for.
Well, Pez, it does not seem like you are going to be able to get exactly what you are looking for. But at least he still has the bags.
That is true.
Yeah,
Oh,
it just
shoot, that's
means
right.
just means we have to do things the old-fashioned way.
That is true. Also, he has a new voice.
Hello.
I noticed.
I am taking it out for a spin, as they say. What do you think?
Well, I can honestly say you sound right at home here. And out of my politeness, I will leave it at that.
Zaan's gonna snicker.
So, on to y'all's question about the bag of holding. Depends on how much y'all are willing to spend on such an item.
How big is your biggest?
My biggest can hold around 1,500 pounds, 250 cubic feet, but that one will run you about 10,000 gold pieces.
Okay. I mean, you think that'll be big enough, or do we need bigger?
I have no idea. Oh, y'all weren't asking me. Apologies.
Pez, I think that is quite big enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for that price, you could probably even get 2 bags that are a little smaller so that you can separate things out.
Well, and how exactly do they work again? Are we the only ones who can access it?
Well, see, the interesting thing about bags of holding is you kind of need to know what's inside of them. You can turn these things inside out, but that would take everything out of it, and let me tell you, that makes one hell of a mess.
Okay. So, but if like someone were to take it from us and just think of gold, if they reach in, they can get any of the gold.
To an extent. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, y'all put a bag of gold coins into a bag of holding. I take a bag of gold coins, put it in a bag of holding. You take that bag from me, you open it up, and you think, I want gold. You reach your hand in, you ain't gonna get nothing because you ain't thinking about that particular bag of gold within. Now, you say put in a sword, and someone thinks, I want to pull out a sword. You may pull out a sword. Depending on the complexity of said magical item, you may need to know more about it. Generally speaking, whatever you put in, you must know about to be able to withdraw it.
Okay. That's good.
And I cannot say enough how much of a bad idea it is to turn one of these things inside out. Take it from me.
Bad.
Just take it from me. Do not make that mistake.
I also hear it's bad to put people in them.
There is no air inside.
Oh, so it's good to put people in them. I take it back.
No, let's not put people in them.
Well, now,
Or creatures or nothing.
granted, the mouth of the bag is the size. Getting someone in there may prove difficult for you, you little fluffy psychopath.
Yeah, but if it fit over the head, you can close it.
So, are we good with just this one large bag?
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be best.
Okay.
Kind of puts a hand on his hip and leans on one of his display cases. Y'all called me all the way out here just to get a bag?
We wanted to see you as well. Actually, we were kind of curious if you would even show up.
You realize how tired Daisy is out there?
But think of all the potential shoppers you have.
I also did.
Damn
have
it, I
another
hate that you're
question.
right.
You wouldn't happen to be able to make and or find and or point us to the right direction of someone who could make a magical forge?
Not a fucking clue.
All
Nah.
right.
If I was a betting man, and I am, that sounds very much like a dwarven kind of thing. Now, in all fairness, and he kind of points off behind him and to the left, they are well the hell up in the mountains.
Is that right? If I'm not mistaken, they are right before you enter my country.
Pretty damn close.
So, Brick, it might be a bit for us to get that there forge installed in our wagon. We have a new wagon. It's mighty impressive. Kind of bigger than this place.
I don't. Is it actually deep? Is it bigger? I'm not sure. No, I was about to
The
say.
merchant's is quite a fair bit larger.
Hess is small. He thinks everything is big.
Does it have the same illusion though? Because I know this one, it looks like a small cart, and then you get in and it's big.
It's a little bit more extreme. When
Gotcha.
walking into here is disorienting because you're expecting to be shoulder to shoulder, and it's like you're walking into a closet, but you open up and you're in like a small Walmart. Like it's maybe not quite to that extent, but it's significantly bigger. The wagon home is you walk inside and it's like you think you're walking into a 2-story Winnebago, but you're really walking into like a small house. And even then, the rooms upstairs, the master bedroom and the library, are far larger and extend further out than they should from where the edge of the wagon home is. But it's still not quite to the extent that the merchant is. But he's also a deity.
You actually might have heard of the previous owners of the cart. I believe they were called the believe the cart itself was called the Tinker's Druid cart.
You know, that name does ring a little bit of a bell.
Have you heard of the previous occupants? A dragonborn named Ja and a tiefling named Kelpie?
Kind of leans on the case a bit and looks up, thinking, can't really say that I have.
We
That or I've forgotten. Both very good possibilities.
Yes.
they went missing. How long ago did they say they went missing? 100 years ago ish.
Roughly 200 years ago.
From what we've gathered, they went missing roughly around 200 years ago, before we stumbled across their cart. And based on what we found in their, or what I found in their journal, they seem to have some sort of relation with Bowler.
I'm gonna be honest with you, that has not helped me narrow down who they are.
Just curious.
Do you have any way of contacting Mr. the Bowler?
To an extent. What's in it for me?
Our patronage.
My undying love.
He kind of
That
looks at
too.
you, Vanera. He's like, I ain't falling for that again.
Again?
Don't ask.
I'm not asking.
I'm actually curious.
So y'all buying this bag or no?
Oh, yes. Sorry. I'll go in for some of it. Like how many ways we splitting this up?
Said 10,000.
I'm willing to put a good chunk towards it.
So Zaan
I'm pretty dry.
can toss 2k in if you guys want.
I already have a bag of holding. I don't need another one.
Oh, there you go.
I can toss 5k in.
Well, I'll All right. 5K.
Put 2,500 in from me. Might not use it, but could be useful.
I just threw off my math.
So you need another 2,500.
All right.
Poor Pez.
Look, it's been a week.
It has. It very much
mean-
has been a week.
I moved a shit ton of boxes.
I pick things up, I put them down.
We had our accountant quit today, so it's been a mess.
Yeah. But we get to play D&D. So, you slide the gold coins over. He hands you the bag, and it seems to be just a normal looking bag, but you've seen the one that Vanera's got, and you know that it works, and he's so far been trustworthy. So, I may have to try to so this is quasi a custom item. You can add a bag of holding and change the notes on it, and I can read those off to you later on off stream. Make sure that that's all correct. Well,
One more thing. I know I'm gonna have to attune to it, but I was looking at some goggles because there's some pretty chonky kobolds who have goggles, and like I already know I have a hat that prevents sunlight, but I mean goggles would just be a choice accessory for me. But you did have some anti-disguise goggles. How much were those?
let me find those. Oh, all right. He kind of looks over at one of the display cases, snaps his fingers, and one of his ethereal servants comes wandering over eventually with them, and looks at them. I do believe these run 250 gold pieces.
It's not bad at all.
Do you have to attune to them?
I do not believe so.
I'll take them.
All right.
How much? 250?
250.
Did we get a discount? Tempest discount? 5% off?
Well, there's a certain member of your party that is mouthing off a little bit, so not this time.
But he's adopted.
God damn! Drop the fucking hammer!
Out of character, but so are you.
Oh god. Brick will like look over and he won't want Pez to suffer as a apologies for my sass.
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Yes, he's adopted!
I think we already had a session where the title was "You're Adopted."
Very recently. Also, I don't know what Vanera got, but it looks fucking delicious. I'm so hungry right now.
Steak and cheese from Domino's. They're good. Ooh.
And the leader of Koba.
13?
The merchant looks at you for a second. Looks back at Pez. 250.
No, all right.
I tried.
Alright, you can add the anti-disguise goggles to your inventory.
I bat my eyelashes at him.
He's
Not
already counting
again.
coins. Anything else y'all are looking for today?
Keep your eye out for the magical weapons for me.
I am always on the lookout. Especially to take y'all's money.
He wants the only one. Oh yeah, make sure that you have anti-theft devices, right?
He kind of gives you a look like,
Yeah, never mind. Stupid question. Just like thinking now, like the kids break in. What Zaan would have done would have been tame.
It's the one kid with that gave the hand next to. It's the stick up.
For defense only.
he's coming right for us. Well, all right. I should be here for at least another day. I did have a prior engagement planned before I received y'all's call, so I'm a bit behind schedule at this point. But it was nice seeing y'all again.
Yeah.
Always.
Is there any treat your fast teeth out there likes to eat? Because it's the least I could do, at least since it had to carry you all the way here.
Now, I'm gonna be honest, I would be very cautious of Daisy. She don't always distinguish between food and fingers.
Well, that's fine. My hamburger always nips at my fingers.
I don't think y'all understand.
Pez, you're small enough to actually be food.
You may offer food with 10 fingers and come back with 6. You're certainly welcome to try, but I would not recommend it.
I'm a try.
Pez pulls out his pistol. This is a stick up. It's a bluff because he doesn't have a pointer finger anymore.
It's just a pinky. It's duct taped to the stump.
But yeah, I mean, I'll try if she has like a preferred food, like a carrot or a potato.
She's a bit of an omnivore. You can give her fruit, vegetable, bit of meat if you really want to try.
All right.
Just so the rest of y'all know, I am not responsible for any loss of limb. So,
Oh, he's got to learn somehow.
best of luck to y'all in your future endeavors.
Thank you. I hope your business does well here. It seems like it probably will.
Kind of glances around at the coin being exchanged with his ethereal counterparts. I think I'll be doing just fine.
Zaan will make his way out.
Okay. You all make your way back out of the wagon.
I would like to feed the dino.
Make an animal handling check at disadvantage.
But pack tactics.
I'm not going anywhere near that shit.
But I have proficiency. Does that do anything?
It
Does she
adds
know
your
me?
Daisy? Probably.
I'll go with them.
Okay. Make an animal handling check normally.
Yay.
You fail, it eats Vanera.
And your proficiency just adds your proficiency bonus to the roll. It does the math for you there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. 22.
Cool. Whoa. Yeah, with Vanera there being a familiar sight, it seems more interested to her for the moment, but it smells what you're offering, looks over, kind of nips at it real quickly, and then just kind of like, oof, its head into Vanera. You came back with all your fingers. That's a bonus.
Yep.
Neither of you got 8.
So, is there anything you all wish to do? It is still pretty early in the day, as Boba just...
Nine.
So just doing nothing for the rest of the day?
Do I see anyone in disguise though? Because I have my goggles on.
Make a perception check.
Oh.
Oh,
Not
well,
quite. I thought those.
Followed.
Where's perception? There it is. 19.
19. You take a look around. You're like, no, everyone kind of looks the same.
I look at Vanera and Kasumi.
Oh.
Kasumi is interesting. You see her as she is, but down towards her feet, see her little fox form. You look at Vanera, and she is just with Daisy. No difference.
Interesting. Fox.
Okay.
All right.
So, for the expediency of it all, you receive word that the wagon is finally finished. You are free to come and claim it as soon as you pay.
How much did we end up owing in total?
Let me do the math.
So no, two of the things are 150 and 75.
So your harpoon cannon would come out to be 100 gold pieces.
Okay. I will definitely
The
pay
safe, I believe I said, was 150. Yes.
that. Yes. Yes, that is correct.
And I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember what I said for the Tinkerer's bench.
75 gold.
Sure, let's go with that.
Sorry, I have it written down here. Just
No,
'cause I
no, thank
wasn't
you.
sure.
I should have written it down, but I did not.
free.
No.
Make her persuade. No. So the brothers are standing there, eagerly awaiting your arrival. They seem to have a stray in their shop.
Eat it.
So, as soon as you pay them the gold, they eagerly show you what they have done. The exterior looks immaculate. Zaan had done a fantastic job, but he lacked paints
Finesse.
and the veneer to be able to protect it against weather and such. So,
Not you.
oh,
Them.
oh.
They're big
Our
butts.
dealer.
So up on top brick where you had originally found the dwarven cookware, there now seems to be a little spot, a little kind of similar to the tower at the rear, where there's a little lip that is there, and there seems to be a little cannon of sorts mounted on it. That's what you're able to see from the exterior. They bring you inside, and they show you, as soon as you go inside and to the right, there's a little wooden frame up against the wall by the window, as per requested for Pez's little sandbox. Going upstairs, they lead you to the hallway. Before they get to the side room, they pause, and Kasumi, you look. They gesture down the small hallway where the bird cages had been. They have been removed, and there is a very short table of your homeland style, and up the back of it is a beautifully carved wooden depiction of Shenshei, about 4 feet tall, off the back of the table.
Jesus, that's not little. That's huge. It's bigger than me.
Well, the table itself is quite small because the space is not that big, but the while it is 4 feet tall, it is winding and serpentine, and it is generally sort of skinny.
Okay.
So they gesture off there for that, and they lead you to the next room. They open that up, and within, it has been cleaned out, and there is a very thick, very sturdy looking table against the wall. There are some hefty drawers underneath it for minor storage, and they kind of look at you and say,
We don't tinker too much, we just make something that's big, sort of fireproof. You have to really try to burn this one. It can happen, so be careful, but it should hold up.
All right.
So, we have the safe. Yes. We forgot where you wanted to put it.
We can
We can move it.
put it in the tinker's shop for now.
It is heavy. We can move. In here?
Yep.
Okay. Be back. 2 seconds. They both are sort of scrambling over each other to try to get they're just excited to be able to show off their work to you. And after not even 5 minutes, you hear them arguing and grunting. As you hear some very colorful swear words in Orcish as they are navigating this thing up the stairs.
Can I go help them?
You go, and they're already getting it through the door, and there doesn't seem to be. You're kind of trying to work your way in, but you don't really have the space, and you're just sort of third wheeling it. And then you're just
I'll back off.
I'll be a spotter. It's little to your left, watch the ceiling. But sure enough, they do get it upstairs, and they get it. And when they set it down, there's a bit of a oomph to it. So it's quite heavy. But they set it down there, and I'm going to leave this up to you because I didn't think to ask at the time if you wanted it to be a key mechanism or a combination of sorts, if you wanted any sort of trickery to it. It's totally flavor up to you guys. We'll just assume that over the 4 days that they were working with it, that they were able to make it in any sort of style that you wanted.
I mean,
We can also tackle that off stream while we're not fumbling. Okay, we'll figure that out. It's a magic safe. Whatever they decide is I want it to be a key. Swing! Keyhole. Great. Bing! So, little furry man. Zaan, yes, you. Come.
okay. Zaan makes a okay face and just kind of walks.
They lead you over to the watchtower, and off to the side there's a little kind of pretty nicely wood slatted box in the corner, and you see that there are harpoons and rope. And the shaft of the harpoons are made out of wood. The head itself is a cross-barbed kind of shape, and with a metal ring around the front, or there's metal clasped around the shaft with a ring, and that's where you would theoretically tie the rope to it.
Gotcha.
And they point up the stairs and over to where the cannon is. We did not have the powder to shoot. You will have to figure that out on your own. But
It works.
it works. We also made sure to make it sturdy for potential offense.
I like that option as well. Thank you.
We know it can fit what you say, 6-inch, 8-inch. It big ball or fit with many ball and bang.
I like.
Do let us know if it gets worn down. It's not common here. We are not super great with this. It's more for ships. Yes. There's
It's okay.
no water. Good.
You guys have done fantastic. Thank you.
We look forward to see again, maybe? Yes.
Yes. We need repairs, fixes. I don't see why not.
Okay, we go work on other jobs. We put everything on hold to do this. It was great pleasure. Yes.
Thank you.
Many thanks, my friends.
They
Need to
see
send
their-
you good luck with.
They begin seeing themselves out, and as they step off the front step, Paulie turns around and goes, "Oh, wait!" And he pulls out of his belt, key.
Yes.
Dibs.
Pez just yoink.
Let's see. If you, it's only one key.
It was the one key that you gave them.
Okay.
Yeah. One of you kept the other key. I believe I said that there were 2 keys that you were able to find.
I did not keep it, so no big deal. All right.
I think I might have both.
Keys to the kingdom.
So, they let themselves out of the cart. They go back to their various workshops to begin continuing their tasks. What would you all like to do? It's about midday at this point.
Gotta get a move on.
Yeah, we could either get a move on now, or we could get a move on early in the morning.
Something to eat. Get something to eat. Make a trip to. You said 4 days, so it's the 22nd now.
Yes.
Yes,
I forgot to
it's
advance the
22nd.
calendar. So it is the 22nd of Myos.
Do we know how far high tide is from here?
Well, once we get to the capital to find a ship, it's still a ways away, right?
Yes.
And how far to the capital?
So I'm going to assume that you go and you look at the map that you have on the wall. Rough estimate, going by road, it would probably take you anywhere from 150 to 200 miles to get there by road. If you were to attempt to go straight across country, it would probably be about 75 to 100 miles.
How fast does the cart go?
You don't know. You haven't really tried it yet. You
Yeah.
were doing a pretty leisurely pace when you left the woods before.
I say we stick to the roads.
Well,
Probably for the best.
here's the dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we were going to be going after Shirahama at high tide, which she supposedly is sailing quite often. So, last we heard, she could be at high tide. But for the amount of distance and time it takes to get there, to potentially find out she's not even there and then have to turn around and come back in time for the wedding.
Just remember, we do have the ring of teleportation.
Yes, but since it's only one way.
After an 8-day charge.
7 or 8, something like that.
I don't recall off the top of my head.
It's 10. There you go.
But we can't
Then-
take the house with us.
It might be worth staying in.
Were we gonna take the house on the boat?
I'm not sure.
I would
I
hope
don't think
we're...
we've discussed it.
I would personally like to keep this house because, again, we weren't able to keep our mounts. They're still just living it up in the perfect desert. But I would still
I mean-
like to at least take this.
I figured if we were going out on the sea, we're gonna leave the house with Fern until we could come back for it. Not really much use for a wheelhouse.
All depends. All depends on how long it takes to do everything. It may actually even be worth it to stay in the kingdom and use the resources available to us to see where Shirahama is after the wedding, if it ends up being like that.
And who knows, it might even bring Shirahama here.
Plus, Vanera, your mink was last seen in that area too, right? Okay.
So, yeah, we can just start heading off in that direction, and then when we get to the kingdom, we can kind of figure out what we want to do from there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good to set off.
At least if we go to Harpermere, then I have it in my... I have been there, so we can teleport there anytime we need to. No matter what we decide.
Yes, this is good.
Okay. So you're all hitting the road today?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you all load into the wagon. You get Cassie strapped in, saddled up. Who's driving this beast? Okay. Pez and Vanera hop up into the driver's seat with a little... Cassie gets excited at being able to actually go again and begins going quickly, but Pez is able to rein her in and not run over anybody just yet.
Damn.
You have to go fairly slow through the town again as the sight is, again, drawing attention. You peer off to the side, and way at the back of the crowd, you see the 6 youngsters that had stolen your coins, and they're kind of hopping up and waving at you as you're going by. Head on through the town, out the eastern gate, and as you pass in front of the butcher that you had seen previously, Cassie seems to slow down on her own and peers over into the fields at some of the other larger beasts that are roaming around behind the very large fence. And eventually, after a few hours, the city begins to drift into the distance behind you. And that is where we're going to end tonight as you head further on your journey towards Harpermere.
Onward!
Also, you all have leveled up.
Woo!
Oh,
Okay.
Really?
all right.
Okay.
For our clerics, that means you get some really interesting spells
At level 9?
once a day. Yeah, you have 5th level spells now.
Oh.
So, thank you all so much for joining us. We will get them all squared away with their health and any further questions that are needing to be asked from there. We hope you all have a nice, lovely weekend. I am going to be having an interesting one myself. But until next time, we have Pez Plays on Mondays. I will be getting Whiskey Wednesdays out on podcasts and YouTube here over the weekend, and we will have Whiskey Wednesdays this week, no D&D. So, if you're here for D&D, we will see you in 2 weeks. Have a good night. Love you all. Any last comments, concerns? Nothing? If you're at Halloween Horror Nights, go see that dude down there.
Yeah, I'm in the Halloween house. Come get scared.
All right. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.